Today I'm going to attempt something a little bit crazy. I'm going to try and design and build a rocket using only materials that you can find lying around your house. Now you might be asking, why on earth would you think about doing that? Well, it's pretty simple. I want to prove to you that rockets don't have to be expensive or complicated to be fun. So if you've ever thought about getting into rocketry before, but you didn't know where to start, this video is for you. So grab a paper towel roll, some cardboard, aluminum foil, and a little bit of super glue, because today we're building a rocket out of household junk. Let's see how it flies. Before building, I usually like to sketch my designs out. This step is important because if you get the proportions wrong, the rocket won't fly straight. A common rule in amateur rocketry is that the rocket's body length should be about 10 times the diameter of the body tube, and the center of gravity should sit in front of the center of pressure. I'll explain that more in a different video, but basically, if your balance point is off, your rocket is going to flip mid-flight and crash. Now onto the building. Every rocket starts with a body tube. It's basically the backbone of the entire thing. For ours, we're just using a paper towel roll. Nothing fancy, you just gotta peel off the rest of the paper towels. Don't judge me on how I did mine, because I may or may not have just put the whole thing on a power drill and spun the rest of it off. But was it necessary? Definitely not. But did it work? Absolutely. Now here's why the body tube matters. It's not just a cylinder. It's the structure that everything else attaches to. The fins, the nose cone, the motor, and the motor mount. If it's weak, the whole rocket just fails. And since this was a paper towel tube and it was never designed to handle a rocket motor, we'll see how this one goes. Next up is the nose cone. This is a make or break piece in this entire build. The nose cone slices through air, keeping the rocket straight, and if it bends or vibrates or even moves just a little bit, the whole flight could go wrong. Most amateur model rockets use a form of plastic for their nose cone, but since this is a household build, we're going to be using something that was originally made for cooking, aluminum foil. At first, I thought about just rolling a bunch of pieces of aluminum foil together and then test fitting them in the tube to see how they fit. But I underestimated how thin they would actually be. So I had to try a completely different approach, which ended up actually being much easier and worked much better. It sounds kind of stupid saying it out loud, but it was the easiest and best way to do it. So what I did was I just took a really big sheet of aluminum foil and then crumpled it into a ball and then rolled that ball into the shape of the nose cone that I needed. It's kind of weird, but it worked, so am I going to complain about it? No. Here's where part of the household materials build can get on the line of cheating, because I know most people don't have a 3D printer in their house, but since I have one, I'm going to allow myself to use it. But it's also a super simple part of the build, so you could probably just find a way to do this on your own. And the part we're talking about is motor mounts. It's the part that holds the motor aligned in the center of the body tube. So anyways, I pulled up Onshape and I was able to quickly sketch out a motor mount tube. I'd used some basic measurements that I had already pulled from the same type of motor because I've used it in other builds. Since I've already measured it before, it was super simple to use the same inner diameter so I could get it just right when I needed it. The first print that I tried was about 44 millimeters in diameter, but that one was just a tad too big so it wouldn't fit inside the body tube at all. So the next one I printed out at about 42 millimeters, and that one was just almost perfect, except it was just a little bit too small. So the third and final one that I printed out was about 42.5 millimeters, and that one was perfect. So I printed that one out, and then I used the other one that was about 42 millimeters because I just didn't want to waste that many materials, and there was no point since it still worked anyways. And since that 42 millimeter one was just a little bit too small, we're just going to use a little bit of extra glue whenever we actually mount it into the body tube. Now you might be wondering, why don't you just tape the motor into the body tube? And it's actually because the motors get way too hot. Without a proper motor mount, the tube could get loose whenever it launches, and we don't want the motor jettisoning itself out of the rocket when the parachute ejection fires. Now it's time to measure the tube for fin placement. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to wrap a piece of paper around the body of the tube. Then I'm going to mark where the paper overlaps itself. Now you have the circumference of the rocket tube. Then you're going to take that circumference and you're going to divide it into thirds. And then whenever you're ready, you can mark on the body tube exactly where those thirds are, and you have perfect placement for exactly where all three fins need to go. Now I am cutting my fins out of cardboard, specifically from one of the many boxes of rocket parts that I've ordered online. Remember that box that I was talking about earlier in the video that had the rocket in it? That's this one, so let's get cutting. Here's the rule of thumb. The fins need to be about 2 to 3 times as long as the rocket's diameter. Since our rocket tube is a little over 1.5 inches in diameter, we're going to make our fins a little over 3 inches long. And to make that proportional, our fins are going to be about 1.5 inches wide. Now fun fact, 3 fins are usually more efficient than 4 fins are. While 3 fins give you a little bit less stability, they give you a lot less drag. That's why I'm going with a 3 fin setup here.
God.
When I mounted the fins, I used some super glue first, and then I added some wood glue for reinforcement. And remember, patience is key here. A crooked fin means it's not a good day at the launch site. Now we're on to style. Now rockets don't technically need paint, but I mean come on, it's not a rocket unless it looks cool. This is also where I get to slow down, perfect my craft, and make the rocket look nice. This time I just went with a plain white paint, mostly because it's just what I had on hand, but also because I wanted everything to look at least a little bit symmetrical. If you want to know how I turn my shower into a paint booth like you see right here, check out the shorts on this channel because I've made a video on that. Now we're on to the final assembly. Here I'm finally able to put the motor mount together. They finished printing so I can glue them onto the motor and then finally glue them into the body of the rocket. After that, we'll cut up a plastic straw and we'll tape it to the side for rail guides. At this point, it's starting to look like a real rocket, which is pretty wild considering we started with just some trash boxes and aluminum foil. Alright, now here comes the moment of truth, launch day. At first, I didn't really think I was going to be able to launch on this day because the weather had forecasted rain the entire day. But after waiting for about an hour in my car, the weather cleared up just enough for us to be able to launch. So I set up my launch pad, set the rocket on top, and we're ready to launch. Count it down with me.
Homemade rocket launch in 3, 2, 1.
Did it work that well? Oh my gosh, no way.
Alright, now let's see how it held up. The fins are pretty much in perfect condition, except for the one that's a little bit bent as you can see here. But other than that, it's pretty good. The body tube has a couple scorch marks from the motor, but it's completely intact. Even the aluminum foil nose cone that popped off mid-flight survived almost completely. So I'd say for something made out of household stuff, it wasn't bad at all. Overall, the rocket flew better than I had actually expected. It started to wobble about halfway up, but that's most likely because the nose cone probably shifted during flight since it wasn't really locked into place. If I rebuilt this, I'd do a couple more things. I would lock the nose cone into a better place, probably just by making it a little bit wider. I would add a parachute, probably just something like a Walmart bag. And I would use a shock cord, most likely just a rubber band that you could cut to make it longer, just so you could keep the nose cone and the body together during flight. But even without all of that, it launched, it flew, and it landed mostly intact. And I would call that a success. And there you have it, a homemade rocket built with stuff completely you could find just sitting around your house. If you enjoyed this experiment, consider subscribing so you don't miss any future launches. We've got bigger, crazier builds coming up, and trust me, you don't want to miss those. And as always, stay curious and aim for orbit.